Why are you into 2% milk over whole milk?
I don't know. It's just kind of the milk that we always bought, like, when I was younger. And then Synovia probably the same in her family. So now we both just buy 2%. It's also the most popular at the grocery store. It seems like everybody does that.
Yeah, but I feel like people are wrong.
I mean, I like whole milk, especially if I'm making like a latte or something and doing steamed milk. It's nice to have whole milk, and it's nice to have whole milk for baking or cooking or whatever. But for like drinking milk, or for actually no, for drinking milk, whole milk is better too. But for like eating cereal, I guess it's
whole milk is still better, dude.
I guess it's like it feels like a waste putting whole milk in cereal, because I don't drink the milk out of my cereal bowl, and I don't like wasting whole milk like that.
Okay, see, I do drink the milk out of the cereal.
Yeah, I think that's super gross.
What?
Yeah, it's like,
what cereal are you eating that your milk is gross?
Any cereal. Like at the end of it, you just have not as cold as it should be milk that has like half saliva because you've been dripping saliva in your whatever the whole time.
What? Dripping? What do you do? How are you eating your cereal?
Drool over your food when you eat it? That's what I do.
Oh, God.
No, yeah, but then it's like not really quite milk anymore. And then there's sugar. And if you're eating anything that has pieces, like it'll all kind of like dust up and fall into the milk. And it's like, it's gross. That's why I like shredded wheat. Like not mini wheats, not what frosted mini wheats are fine. But like the old man style giant brick of shredded wheat in a bowl. That's what I like, because it sucks up all the milk, or it soaks up all the milk. So you don't have the waste of like a standard whatever. You just get like a wet pillow of wheat.
God, Jesus. Also, you're just eating like fiber and milk at that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, old man style. Like there's no fun in that meal, but it does the job, you know? Anyway, that's why 2% cereal, really mostly. Welcome to Patch Notes.
Yeah, welcome to episode 18 of Patch Notes, the Homegames podcast. I'm Yazeed, and this is Joseph.
Hello, today is February 22nd, 2020.
The date master lives.
2/22/2020.
2/22/2020. Wow, that's a complicated
it's a fun one.
thing right there.
Yeah, it's a good date.
Yeah. It is a good date. I think there's going to be a couple good dates with this 20 thing, because we're also going to get 4/20/20.
That's true. I mean, that's pretty much it, though, right? Like, there's not another. What's another good one?
You know what? You're right.
I mean, that's a strong contender for date of the year, no doubt. But I don't know if I can say that this is like stacked with special dates, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so 2 days ago was 02/20/2020.
It's true. And then also, remember when I mentioned the palindrome date? That was actually like the following day. It was 02/02/2020.
Yeah. See, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess we're like, this is the last cool date until 4/20/2020.
Yeah. And then I don't think there's going to be any more cool dates for a while, probably.
You never know. You know, they kind of just...
So we get to 2069. It's just downhill.
2050 will be cool. 2050 is like future year. But so is every on the decade year. You know, 2030, 2040, 20XX.
I don't know. I don't think 2050 is going to be any cooler than 2049 or 2051. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not there yet. It's 30 years from now. They'll probably all be equally as cool. I don't know.
Did you think that in 2050 probably we'd be voting for somebody who was born when we were in like the presidential elections and stuff?
I guess. I mean, I'm kind of already like that with rappers I listen to, and I'm older than a lot of them. And like over time it'll be like, man, that successful person is 10 years younger than me. I'm waiting for the one where it's like, oh, that person was born after 9/11. And they're my boss or something. You know what I mean? Like that kind of a thing.
Dude. Well, so in like tennis and stuff like that, there's definitely pro players who are born after 9/11 on like the professional scene.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's like, don't you guys know that time started when I was born? Like, what are you?
So there's like a really famous like young girl playing tennis right now, and she's I think 15 or 16. So she was born on like 2005.
Jeez. It's like I remember 2004. You know, it's wild.
I don't, so it's
true. That's a you thing, though. You have severe memory
how,
problems.
What grade were we in?
You were 5th grade. I was 10. You were like 11.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't remember.
You got like a full brain at that point, dude. You should be able to remember when you were 10 or 11.
You know what? I had a full brain even in high school, but there's parts of high school I don't remember really. Like early high school.
That's what I'm saying. You have a thing. That's a thing. It's not like a normal. That's not a normal situation.
No, I think it's all the TikToks and Vines, honestly. Like I just like gave up part of my own memory so that I could memorize TikToks and Vines.
Yeah, it's the plasticity of the brain. You know, you remove the chunk that like matters, like your memories and all that kind of stuff, and you just fill it in with 6-second garbage. You just kind of adapt, you know.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely feel like that happened to some extent. You know?
See, like right now, you just kind of died in the middle of that sentence. It's because you were thinking about your boy skinny penis.
Yes, me and my boy skinny penis. I don't know. I don't know what it is about me, but I don't really remember that long ago in the past. What's happening, man? What's happening?
Not much is happening. I've been playing an embarrassing amount of idle skilling this past week and the past few months in general. I've been growing out this terrible mustache. I don't know if you've seen, but it is. I look like a 14-year-old.
That's true about every mustache I've ever seen on you.
That's because I can't grow a full mustache. This is just, yeah. Anyway, I look like I'm in high school. But yeah, I guess it's just idle skilling and then other video games. And then I got home game stuff that I worked on this week. But that's like pretty much all that's up with me.
What is idle skilling?
Idle skilling is a video game that you can download on your mobile device. It's a idle game, which is one of my like guilty pleasures as a video game player. You're familiar with idle games and like the idea of
yeah, like cookie clicker and stuff.
Yeah. And I always like I could see how they are the worst thing ever made and how it's just numbers going up. But I also cannot stop myself from loving every minute of every one of those games I've ever played. So idle skilling is like any idle game you've ever played, but taken to an extreme that kind of puts other idle games to they're not even relevant anymore. It's basically so many different tiers of different idle games within one idle game, and all of them, the numbers contribute towards each other to make all of your numbers across the board go up. So there's, for example, like starting off with this basic thing of every idle game, which is, you have a guy. This guy generates resource every second. You can spend resources to upgrade the amount of resources that he will create. And he's creating fighting resources. So you are able to fight better as this guy does more reps in the gym or whatever. It's literally a gym in the first one. So, okay. And then you can eventually buy more dudes to do more exercises and get more fight points. And then you go into the fight part and you fight monsters, and your stats are based off of the guys in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then you unlock another area where your stuff goes towards like strength or whatever, or accuracy. So different aspects of the fighting, combat. And there's no actual live combat. Like you don't fight anything. Your thing just auto attacks on some sort of time period thing, and then you have skills with cooldowns, and then they can kill stuff. And then you kill monsters and you go to the next area of the monster thing, right? And like there's an end goal. Basically, there's a finite number of levels that have a certain number of monsters in each one. But the numbers go up, and so you have to have more strength to fight a certain type of enemy or whatever. And so you go back to the gym and you upgrade your guys and you whatever, and then you wait. Inevitably, you just end up turning off the game, and you come back tomorrow and you just dust everything in your way because that's the game. That's the way the game is designed, basically at the beginning. Anyway, that's like the basic game. That's like the way. That's like the core of it. But there's also I would guess I'm thinking of just the menu. I think there's 8 other parts of that. Like the fighting thing is one section of all of your skills and stuff. There's also a farming thing. There's a trading card thing. There's a raids area. There's a farming part. There's a tunnel digging part. There's you have pets, and the pets fight, and then you breed the pets and make other pets, and it's seriously Alex said that it's like a crackhead made an idle game, and when he first said that to me to sell me on it because he knows I like idle games. Honestly, I started playing this game when we started the podcast. Not this episode of the podcast. I mean, I started playing the game 3 months ago, and
oh my god,
I'm almost at the end. And I mean, in terms of the, like I said, there's a finite number of monsters and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, the game is insane, and it's also not great. I think it's made by one person, and I have the iPhone with the one of the more recent iPhones, and so it has the larger screen. And this game has been out for a long time, and they still haven't updated to accommodate that larger screen. And they still update it every month or so, and they just haven't bothered to fix that. Also on this phone, there's no home button, so there's a little bar on the screen, and that covers up some of your stats on the game because they haven't accounted for that bar being present on that phone. Anyway, and it's problems like that, but I play so much of that game, it's insane.
I'm glad you like something, right? That's what it is.
It's seriously I know that my New Year's thing was to value my time more. This is the opposite of valuing my time. I'm actually very much wasting my life playing that game, but I really like it still. Idle skilling, it's free.
I think that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes you just have to turn your brain off, right? Sometimes you just have to chill and play a game that you enjoy.
Yeah,
even if it's not helping you.
It's just this dark place of, I think that's the 4th time on this podcast I've said something about what I'm doing with my life, and you're sometimes you just gotta turn your brain off. That's all I do. But it's all right.
That's definitely not all you do.
I'll be fine. It's okay. No, yeah, I don't know. I haven't played many real games. I played I've started playing some more VR games that I actually really, really liked. But other than that, I've just been doing idle skilling. That's my game, the Homegames game minute, or whatever.
Nice. League of Legends is doing a tournament format day on Saturday and Sunday, and so
today, tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow. So tomorrow, me and 5 people are gonna try our hand at the tournament thingy. I literally brought people out of league retirement, the equivalent of retiring from playing League of Legends, to play with me in this thing.
What's the you're playing against other actual competitive people, or what's the
other groups of 5 people? Yeah,
nice.
In a round robin format. So you play your first round, and if you win, you place the other winners, and then if you win, you go into the finals, and if you win that, then you get a big reward, and if you lose, then you get no reward, basically.
And you haven't. What's your ragtag group? Is it an Ocean's 11 type thing? You just son of a bitch, I'm in.
It's pretty much just whoever played or plays League of Legends. So me, Trevor, other Trevor, JC's our backup because he does not actually like playing that game, but we needed a backup. Yeah. And then one of my coworkers named Yuho.
Nice.
So there's 5 of us.
Have you been practicing, or?
Oh, and Zach.
Do you have to prepare or anything for that? What's your strategy?
Yeah. So first of all, there's the barrier of entry, which is you have to have a rank in this year's ranked queue, basically. Mm-hmm. So you need to play 10 games since the start of January, basically.
Okay.
And I was the only person who did that. So there were 40 some odd games of League of Legends played. Zach was playing until 6 o'clock this morning to get his ring.
My God, that's crazy.
Well, because like each game takes somewhere between like 45 minutes and an hour.
Yeah.
So that represents like 10 hours during the week when people are busy. So it's like, We also only on Tuesday decided we were going to do this. So yeah, so there's like the barrier of entry there. Practice wise, we have no idea if we're going to get any practice in because today I'm busy and tomorrow we're playing. So you know how it is. So maybe tomorrow we'll get in some practice or something. Yeah. But basically, like Trevor and I have played League since it started being a game, basically. And although he doesn't play, we both watch like professional play. So we kind of know like how to do like tournament style drafting and stuff like that. So I think we'll be okay. But we'll see, because some of our people have literally never played this game aside from like in the last like 2 years. Like some people have literally not played in like 2 years. So
it'll be interesting at least.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Really what I'm excited for is that when I play League of Legends, because I play like 1-ish game a day, I get hard flamed every game. Like people tell me to like die, uninstall, get cancer. Like that's usual. That's like how the game goes for me. I'm not even doing badly usually, but sometimes I do pretty terribly. But people are just mad all the time in that game.
It's because they're playing League of Legends.
It's because they're playing League of Legends, and I'm excited to not get flamed because I'll know the people I'm playing with. It's really what it comes down to. Is I'm excited that no one is gonna tell me that I'm a dog and I need to be beaten by my master or something like that.
That's intense.
That's verbatim something that somebody has told me. And I was like, there's so many things wrong with what you just said.
There's like a whole tier of aggression in that kind of in that game specifically. I don't know what it is. I've never had people talk to me like that online.
I don't know what it is. Like little kids who played COD growing up.
Yeah, but like even that's not that bad. It's just it's just mostly swearing and kind of stupid. But then you're still laughing when you do it because everybody's kind of just messing around and you know it. I've had one person in my life tell me he was gonna find me and kill me, but that was Call of Duty 4 like a long time ago.
I've never been directly threatened, but like people have told me like they hope I die.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, I don't know. Playing games online, no one even uses their mic on most games anymore. It's not, when Xbox Live was new and everybody was using their mic and all that kind of stuff. Also, earlier you said you were playing League for a long time. Do you remember, or did you ever play it when it costed money?
No, I got it like right after that.
Like when it went free to play?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not a real fan then?
No. I played in the last patch of the beta, basically. Okay. So when it was in beta, I played the last patch, and then Season 1 started. So I've been playing since then.
Yeah. I've tried that game a few times. I think I'm turned off by it for a lot of reasons. I think I really just want to play, like, how in high school everybody played Dota in the computer lab?
Yeah.
I kind of wish I just had gotten in on that to understand the core of what that stuff is, and then I can kind of appreciate stuff like Dota 2 or League of Legends or whatever. But I just don't.
Like, the game is fun. I don't know if it's the kind of game that you would enjoy, though.
But see, like
it's good.
Like even just core of like Warcraft 3, that game I think is interesting to me. I the core of League of Legends even is interesting to me. Like, oh yeah, you have a guy, level up your guy, and kill mostly NPCs to like. I love the whole stat RP. Like I love that kind of stuff. I think I don't like the competitive multiplayer aspect.
Yeah. That's the part that I don't know if you're gonna enjoy. Yeah, it's ultra competitive. Even in the casual queue, people still tell you to kill yourself.
Oh, I know. I've played a few times, and it was I mean, not really kill yourself. It was just like you're terrible, you're bad, all that kind of stuff, and that community has that kind of reputation, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's well founded. Like honestly, been playing this game for so long. At this point, I don't know.
I remember one of my like cringiest memories playing Call of Duty because I was 14 and I had no idea. Like I was talking to a guy I met in a lobby on Modern Warfare 2. I was 15 or 16 then, and he sounded like Alex, right? Like he sounded like a kid but with a deep voice. And I asked him in the middle of the thing after we were talking for like 5 minutes. I was like, "So what grade are you in?" He's like, "What grade am I in? I'm a grown ass man. I'm 30 years old." Damn, okay.
Oh my god.
But now I am that old man. I mean, 30,
Yeah.
whatever. But like, it's different. Kids.
It kind of is, yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to play single player games more, I think, than I am to play multiplayer games.
That's the old man thing.
Kind of is.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm pretty much at this point down to playing like one game a day, and that's mostly just I can't control myself. I have like a weird addiction to certain things, and that's one of them.
Well, just before the podcast... oh, sorry. You were going to say something.
I was like that and Reddit are like the two things that I pretty much have to do every day.
Yeah. Reddit is I still haven't... I'm not logged into Reddit. Like, I don't have the app and all that kind of stuff, but I do still read Reddit almost every day. Like, on some level. I'm just not signed in. I just go directly to the subreddits.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, we were talking just before the podcast about Half-Life Alyx, which is very much going to be a single-player thing. And you're going to have your VR headset and stuff. So, do you like rhythm games?
I'm not very good at them. So there's a new arcade in town that's Japanese, and there's a ton of rhythm games. I'm not great at
like
them.
The drum ones?
But I have a good time playing them.
The drum games?
Well, there's like the drum games, there's tapping games, there's like some crazy stuff out there.
When me and Synovia...
We should go. When you have a chance, we should go.
Yeah, because Synovia and I, we love... It's one of those drum games. There used to be at the Peter Piper on near the mall, and it's not there anymore. They removed it because we were the only ones that liked that game. Anyway, whole thing. We love those rhythm games. But I was going to say, if you like rhythm games, there's a VR game that I found relatively recently that's really awesome. It's called... Oh, God, what's it called? Pistol Whip. And...
Whoa.
So it's a game like you just stand basically, and you don't need to walk, you don't need to whatever, and you have a gun in your hand, and I believe you reload too, but you reload by like pointing off the screen, like in light gun shooters or whatever. But the whole thing is it's a rhythm game. You're moving on this track, and enemies come out to the beat of the song that you're listening to on the thing, and so it's like they'll come out and they'll be in cover when it's offbeat and like out of cover when it's not, or like they're in a good position. Like basically it's like if the beat was going like doom doom doom, then on every one of those dooms is like the prime time for you to hit, like for you to shoot someone. And so there's enemies all over the screen, and you're like timing the shooting to the beat, and you're also dodging bullets, and like you have to move to get out of the ways of walls and stuff like that. But you get into this like flow of you're not even looking. There's also some very slight aim assist because it's not about the accuracy of what you're doing. It's about the movement and like the overall thing. So like you just get into this flow of like like doing the stuff, and it's just like so good. I don't know if you'd enjoy it, but it's if you're into the idea of a good VR game, rhythm game, whatever, you should check it out. It's awesome.
It sounds like it would be pretty fun to play.
Yeah,
I'm kind of into that. I don't know. I like rhythm games. I'm not very good at them though. It's like I don't know if you remember like the what was it where like you had your song, like you'd pick like your song, and then you'd be like a little car guy, and you'd like try to dodge all the things that came out of the rhythm of the song.
Audio Surf.
Yeah, Audio Surf. Like I wasn't very good at that game, but I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. I mean, if you like it, I mean, it's such a different thing, because it's like Guitar Hero or Rock Band or any of those games where it's just about keeping the rhythm and all that kind of stuff. But particularly the Pistol Whip is interesting, I think, because you could also play it totally offbeat and still win. You're just shooting guys. You're just moving on a track shooting guys.
Yeah.
So you might like it. There's another one I played called, it's not a rhythm game, but another VR game called Crisis Brigade, VR-igade, terrible name. But I think it's like Brigade, but that game is like a crazy workout. You're just a cop and you shoot guys. You just people robbing a bank. Go kill all the guys robbing a bank. but you have cover in the game and you're just in areas and it's like, oh yeah, there's a police car in front of you and you're getting shot. You have to duck. And so you're ducking and shooting guys that can blind fire for like 5 minutes. And it's VR, so you're like actually ducking for 5 minutes, and your knees and your legs and your whole that is like, it's like a workout, but it's actually super fun. So that game is also pretty great.
That sounds like it's super cool.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna have this thing because I've been waking up really early to like lift weights and stuff. That's kind of been something, but it's really hard to do that because it's so boring. So I was thinking, if I want a good like workout that also is fun, I can just do like 30 minutes of Crisis Brigade every morning or something like that. But not really. I don't know. I just think it'd be fun to like incorporate as some sort of workout thing because it actually is totally a workout.
Have you seen the Switch Ring Fit Adventure?
I have.
Game?
I've heard a lot about that. I haven't seen much about it though.
I didn't even hear about that. Apparently, it's entirely sold out, and people love that game.
It was available on like Best Buy when I checked a couple weeks ago.
So my friend was checking yesterday because he wanted to buy one, and he couldn't find it anywhere except for a resale on Amazon.
Crazy.
Yeah. So the game right now is like $150 on Amazon.
That's nuts.
Why? So he was telling me that part of the problem is that it's the ring for Ring Fit Adventure is made in Wuhan.
Oh, so production's probably
so
shut
like
down.
You literally can't get the ring out of China anymore. So it's like, well, that's not going to happen for a while then, probably.
Yeah.
But that game's supposed to be super good for you.
Isn't Corona
it's supposed to be good for you?
Isn't Corona like Latin for circle or something too?
I have no idea.
I think that's crazy. Okay, what if it? I'm gonna go look that up real quick. Probably cut this part out with my. It's like crown, but I'm pretty sure. A corona, meaning crown in Latin, derived from ancient Greek something, is an aura of plasma that surrounds the sun and other stars. So it's kind of a you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's encircling.
Like ring, you know what I mean? Put the tinfoil hat on.
Yeah. Nintendo broke out the Wuhan virus. Yeah. I wonder if at some point we'll finally have like a society that's stable that doesn't like it balance on like the equivalent of a knife's edge.
I don't know, man. People are too stupid to have everybody be like smart together. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There's a show I watched recently all about doomsday preppers. I think when I get older, I'm going to become a doomsday prepper. It seems like the lifestyle for me.
Are you going to become the crazy kind where you like build an underground bunker and then like stockpile it and like raise your own chickens and stuff? Or are you going to be the doomsday prepper where you like have supplies?
Well, why would you just have supplies? You know what I mean? If you're going to prep, you got to prep. You know?
So you're the crazy kind with the bunker and the chickens.
Okay, but like if you have supplies, you need to be able to get like a chicken can produce something. A chicken can produce eggs and it can produce other chickens or whatever, you know? Like a chicken can make other chickens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a bag of like a 30-pound bag of rice in your tough shed out back isn't much to help you survive. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is the crazy people have a point.
You know what's wild is that might be true, and if there ever is a doomsday, the survivors are going to be all the wildest people, and all the regular folk are going to die, and society is just going to be like crazy conspiracy theorists trying to make it on the world.
Yeah, society too is going to be crazy. The baseline is our current insane, you know?
Well, like, I guess in human past, there was like a time where there was like a genetic bottleneck for people. So there was a time where it was basically the doomsday and people made it out of that okay.
Yeah, now we got iPhones.
Those were probably the doomsday preppers. We're all probably descended from the crazy people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know? Like when it really goes down, the craziest doomsday preppers are the most well prepared.
I don't think I would ever want to raise chickens though. Like I think I would rather die than raise chickens.
I could probably go vegetarian. You know, I'll just need some sort of sustainable way. Like I'd rather farm like lettuce and apples or whatever people do than
You'd need to form a protein. You need soy. You'd be a soy boy like me.
Well, whatever. I'll figure it out. Isn't there protein in like beans? Couldn't I farm beans on some way?
There is protein in beans, but it's an incomplete protein, so you need to eat it with rice.
Oh darn! I'll get some rice then. You know, better than raising a chick. Anyway, the show that I watched, it was like Everybody Has a Reason. I forget what it was called, but everybody has like a reason for why they're prepping, and it's like at the end of the show, the people running the show do this test basically on the preppers setup to see how really well equipped they would be for the scenario they're preparing for. So someone is like, I'm thinking there's going to be some global disease that wipes out 90% of the world or whatever. Another one's like, I think economic collapse will cause, you know, just like unrest and wildness in the world. I think another one was like governments. But anyway, there's like all this crazy stuff. So everybody has a different reason for it. And then in the end, it's like, yeah, we're looking at how much food you realistically have, how well prepared you are in defenses. We had these guys, like if you're afraid of people like, you know, looters or whatever coming in with guns, we just have these guys coming in with fake guns. Oh, they aimed at you and they fake shot you and you're dead in 5 seconds. Like you spent all this time prepping for all this kind of stuff, but you didn't realize that you can't shoot a gun or whatever. It's like that kind of stuff. It's super cool. I love that show.
See, that's really cool. Although I'm worried that, like, on some level, that's like supporting their weird fantasy. You know, like reinforcing their crazy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's also reinforcing it to people like me who are kind of already on board with the idea of prepping for a doomsday scenario and telling me that it's like not only normal, but like they made a show showing you how you can do it better. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of crazy. Anyway. Doomsday prepping. Check it out.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd ever want to be a doomsday prepper. That sounds too difficult. I also would have to store a lot more stuff than I currently like to store.
Yeah, you and I are opposites in that way. That's why I have 11 terabytes of storage and piles of garbage on every part of my apartment.
Yeah. You ready to into home games?
Home game stuff.
Oh, yeah. All right, man. So here's the dealio. I need access to Homegames-web.
Oh.
I need access to that repo.
Shouldn't you?
Please.
How do you not have it? I thought I made you an admin.
I don't know. I can't push to the repo.
I thought I made you an admin. All right, I'll go and check stiff. 1 sec. You can't push to master, or you can't...
I can't push a branch to that repo.
Manage access. All 3 members can access this repository. Oh, base permissions are just read. I'll give you all write permission.
Thank you.
Now you should be good.
Because your committed version in master doesn't work.
Yeah, it does.
I can't get that to stand up.
Why?
You didn't add in a way of making a bundle.js file. And you don't commit it and we're ignoring it. So you have to...
Fam, there's a webpack config right there.
Right, but then you have to run Webpack. But in order to run Webpack, you have to have a package.json, which you also don't have.
Oh, I forgot my package.json. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's one dependency, like, you know?
No, yeah. It's not like it's a big deal. I'm just letting you know, like, it took me a while to figure out, like, what is wrong with this? Like, why isn't this standing up? And then I tracked it down, and I was like, oh, we're missing a package.json file. So I have a PR with, like, that fixed, I think. So we can commit that and be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just have my package lock in there. I just forgot to add my package.json.
No worries.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, totally works. You're wrong.
It does work once you have your bundle. Once it's bundled, it does work 100%. It's just I was an idiot, and it took me like an hour and a half of being like, "What the heck is wrong with this?" to realize like, "Oh, this error means that webpack bundle.js isn't there. That means we're missing webpack in our package JSON, and there is no package JSON."
Yeah, I forgot to do that, but
no worries.
But yeah, anyway, Homegames Web, the forgotten repo.
It's okay. Other than that, I updated my colors PR. I approved your PR. I didn't know if I should merge it, so I just approved it.
I think we should leave the merging to the author of the PR.
Okay. That's a good approach, I think.
I merged this morning, by the way. I saw your stuff.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Nice. And then, other than that, I started the work of moving Square over to the new stuff.
Nice.
So I think, yeah.
How's that going? Have you started actually doing that yet?
Yeah, for the most part, it's like moved over. What I want to implement before I'm like too deep into this is the state queue.
Yeah.
So I want to store the state and then consume the state on like tick or something like that. So I'm trying to figure out the mechanics of that. And then once I have that done, then I'll finish moving the rest over. Because right now, basically what I'm doing is I'm not moving the AI component over. I'm just moving like the player, so that I can make sure the player's stuff gets added to the queue and consumed from the queue.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll add in an AI row and make sure the AI stuff is added to the queue and consumed from the queue. And make sure that I don't have like some weird rollover errors where like one tick call is consuming the queue while another thing is pushing into the queue. So I have an infinite tick, and then I start another tick that's also consuming from the queue, and like, you know what I mean? So I just want to make sure like I don't have any weirdness with that.
But there's no multi-threading, so there's no possibility of something inserting while something else is reading.
Oh, is that correct?
Yeah. The tick is only going to be like node is all single threaded things, so tick is only happening on some scheduled thing in the event loop. But when some other action does something, there's no possibility of two things happening at once.
You're right. My bad. You're right. So I don't have to worry about that, actually. That makes my job a lot easier. Yeah. So then I should, by next week, Square should be over completely onto the new stack, like the new stuff. We'll go from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. And then, I don't know. I guess it's weird because it's not really weird. I'm just saying that because looking at Master right now on Homegames, actually having all the new stuff is a crazy feeling because it has been updated in like 2 months. And then your stuff is going to have, it's going to be in there as well. And we'll actually have like something cool there. It's kind of exciting. I don't know.
I know. It's coming together. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's cool. Once Square is in there and like fully done, I think that'll be a pretty cool game to play with people.
Yeah. I think we're at this point where it's like, what do we do? It's like I have my game thing, and then after Square, like, what are you planning on doing?
After I'm done with Square, I will probably... Well, I'm kind of like 50-50. Either what I'm going to do is go through and write some tests for stuff so that we have some test coverage, and then figure out like a CI for us. Because if I can get like us to have like a CI to like, oh, you have to pass tests in order to get like your PR even reviewed, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that way we don't have like any like weird breaking changes that accidentally sneak in. And then after that, I probably will make my typing game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to call it Fastest Typer in the West, which is a long title. Maybe I'll call it Fastest Typer, and the subtitle will be In the West, and then we'll go from there.
It's a ton of work because we got to support subtitles now. I'm just joking.
Hey, there we go. All right. Yeah, so I think that's the next thing I'm going to do. So I'll probably get test and CI figured out, and then I'll do... whatever it is. Oh, the game, my typing game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Having a CI pipeline would be great. I just haven't. I don't think we've prioritized it quite yet because it's like we don't do stuff often enough to make it really matter. But if we ever get to a point where some person just sends us a game request to like PR and all that kind of stuff, then it's like, okay, well, we need to have some sort of thing here.
Yeah, I mean, also just for us, like if you're making a game and you have to make a change to something, I'd rather be it like, oh, okay, this isn't gonna explode everything. You know what I
Yeah. Sorry.
And then no, you're good. And then we'll figure out from there. Like once we have a CI pipeline, and we have some test coverage, or like more test coverage because now we do have test coverage. Then we will feel good, and that's the end goal, right? Yeah, and then off 2 games, and you'll have your game.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I've got several video games in my on my resume as a game developer.
On your resume, yeah.
They're all terrible. I think Clictionary is the most fun thing I've made, though. But if I really want Clictionary to work, I still have to go and rewrite all that charades word stuff, and we have to make our own word list because we can't use that word list that's there because I just found it online, and it's actually really hard to get a like license-free whatever just list of English words. So anyway, that's a whole thing. But
yeah, I think at some point one of us is going to have to sit down with a dictionary and go for a typing lesson.
Yeah. Maybe we can, oh my God, maybe we can crowdsource. No, wait, how do we do this? I was going to say we can crowdsource it by using your typing game, and they're all going to type the words that we use for our dictionary. And then I thought, where does the word come from for that game? Oh, it's the dictionary. So
I also, to some extent, didn't want it to only be words. Like, I wanted it to just be like random gobbledygook.
Yeah. Well, then I guess that'll work still then, because you can just randomly generate something, and every now and then it'll be a real English word. So
yes, and we also have a flagger on there so you say, like, this is a real word, and then we have animals like Alex just saying everything is a real word.
This sounds stupid. I really actually want to do it.
We have our own crowdsourced dictionary. It's just an absolute nightmare.
But yeah, no, I'm working on my game stuff still. I have a little bit of progress. I worked on it for like half of Sunday, and I got so like I said before, I think last week where it was just that the guy could die or you could die, like depending on if you were kicking or not. So I have all of the sprite drawings for every state of the guy, like walking right, walking left, kicking right, kicking left, idle, whatever, and all that kind of stuff. I have 2 enemy types. One of them is just red thing that will rush you, like the first stage or my first room of the dungeon that I'm building, like the test dungeon thing, is you start off in room, guy's in the circle, enemy is in the top left, and then he just rushes straight at you. So I guess that's in some way like AI, like enemy pathfinding stuff, but there's no path. It's just going, making a straight line to you from its position. So I guess you could say that's one movement pattern of an enemy type. And then if you kill that thing, you go into the next room of the dungeon. Like ideally you move off of the room, and maybe you have a little mini map or something, and it'll show you like, oh, player moved to like the -1 Y coordinate in this room, so now he's transitioning to the room above it or whatever, something like that, right? But I don't have that kind of logic right now. It just moves you straight to the next room, and so the next room is just plain green screen, and then on that green screen, another player can touch on the screen and spawn an enemy in that place, and that enemy is just a green thing that does nothing, but it's an enemy. It's an enemy. It could do something, and that's all that I have really. I have enemy types. I have rooms. Enemy could follow you, and another player can click to spawn an enemy. So it's going. I just
nice.
Need to kind of flesh out this test layout dungeon room thing, and then make the tool to allow some to randomly generate those things. Which sounds like
do
work.
You need help, or would you like another hand working on it, or do you want to just tackle it on your own?
If you I actually want input on enemies and enemy types, like I said last week or the week before, I really don't think this is going to be very fun. I think it'll just be a test of stuff because, you know, I don't actually know if people will like this or it'll be good. I just think it's a proof of concept for something that could be done, to say to someone who has a better idea that they can build something within this kind of framework. So my idea for enemies is like I built a game with our friend Connor a long time ago called Foo, and it was just different enemy types, and it was a 2D shooter, twin stick shooter, played in a browser, and some enemies would shoot, some enemies would rush, some enemies would have different movement patterns like Geometry Wars, you know, that kind of a thing. But kind of some input on what enemies should do, what kind of interactions an enemy would have with the player, besides the idea of like player starts in room, player maneuvers through rooms in this dungeon, has to get to an end point. Like, what kinds of things along the way make that interesting? Like, a thing that explodes, a thing that rushes you, a thing that jumps, a thing that hides. Like, what do you think would be reasonable? And also, if you wanted to do some art, that'd be really cool. I can show you that app that I've been using to make the pixel stuff, or you can do whatever you want, make your own assets. But like, make your own enemies if you want. But this is all totally optional. I can do this myself if you want. I don't really care. But if you want to help, I'm saying this would be somewhere that I could use some.
Well, I imagine that because Square will be done next week. The week after that will be testing and probably the fastest hyper game. Because I don't think the fastest hyper game is going to take a long time to do. It's probably just going to be...
I think you're going to run into some challenges when you're getting the typing to feel right.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I think
okay.
I think setting a proper... It's like a debounce is what it's called.
Yeah, like debounce.
To not send off all of the data all the time, or to send off the data but not process all the data all the time. Because something as simple as like if you don't limit the input, the simple act of typing a letter on a keyboard will fill up your text box with that letter.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And if it's about fast typing, it's about becoming good at, like, you have to have the kind of precision that you would want to have in, like, you know, real typing experience. Like if it was a native thing and not us processing your text and rendering it in a canvas over a WebSocket.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Okay, so then it may be a while until I get around to it, but I imagine you'll still be working on it because this game sounds like the most complicated game by far.
It's actually still like 120 lines. You know, this like
what?
It's like core of I don't know. It's really not that crazy. It's just like a click interaction creates man. Man has movement ability. That's a listener or whatever that will move that man. And then on an interaction, you check a state on that man. And also with the new changes that you just approved into Master, a game is now able to dynamically set its root. So like, you can swap out your root mid game. You don't have to, it's not just defined once and read on startup and that's it. So me just setting this .root equals new room gives me a whole new thing. You know what I mean? Like that transition of another room. So it's not where it needs to be in the end. Like we're going to need to have all that kind of logic and it will become more complicated, but really it's not that bad.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of the beauty. Like it's super cool because like every game that we have is short. The code is short. The layer test is incredibly small, and I think that's like one for loop in the middle of all the kind of other boilerplate stuff of a game. And then like Clicktionary is relatively simple. It's like maybe 300 or 400 lines of code and all this other kind of stuff. So I think it's kind of nice that it seems to be, it's not complicated, I guess is what I'm saying. And that's nice.
No, yeah, what I also like about it is it kind of makes sense. Like once you work with it, it's like, oh, I see. Yeah. If I want to do this event, I got to push this thing. If I want to do this thing, I got to push this thing. Like it doesn't feel like I have to learn a lot in order to do it. It feels like I just need to figure out like, oh, these are the function calls I need to know, and that's pretty much it.
That's awesome. That's really good to hear because yeah, I think like making an interface from scratch like that, and then kind of start like just all the different iterations and stuff, and then having like, oh yeah, it totally makes sense. Like that's the best feeling. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, even the transferring over of squares so far has been pretty smooth. Like I haven't ran into anything.
Nice.
Really. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Feels good, dude.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Thanks. But yeah, I guess I'll have more updates next week on my stuff. It's still called Game Thing. Maybe once we get some more ideas of the actual interactions and stuff, we'll get a good title for it. Kind of like what we do with this podcast, where we don't have any idea for the name anymore. We just go back, whoever's editing hears some phrase or something and makes that the title. It's kind of like that. Like there was one.
It's exactly like that.
I think it was like 4 episodes ago. The episode is called Corn and Wheat and Potatoes. But the only reason it's called that is because like the actual context for why you said that, I edited out. It's just it fades in on you saying that, and I thought that was funny, so I made that the title. So I'm kind of going to do that on this game too.
I like that. Nice, dude. Aside from working on your game, have you done anything else besides? Oh, you also mentioned Master.
Yeah, merge that stuff into Master, so Master is updated and all that. So we don't look like we abandoned this project anymore. If you go to the settings now, because it counts my commits or counts commits towards Master and no other branches, or not settings, insights, and then or contributors. I got a fat stack of commits contributed now towards that because of that merge. So thank you.
You're welcome. Do you know or do I have any on there? Because I wonder if
you should
I'm wondering if the suggestions actually count towards me or to you.
Well, I think they actually might count towards me because I'm the one that commits the change. So
I see.
That actually seems lame. I don't like that. But yeah,
that's not good.
You don't have a credit on this commit, I guess, so that's weird. But
I don't mind. I mean, it does also show you like how many PRs you reviewed and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I guess it's weird to me that you literally wrote the code and the option attributes me as the author. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, I wonder if you opened up like a feature request to GitHub to do like when you make a suggestion, it counts towards the suggestors commit history. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'm sure I'll get some commits in here soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, once you merge Square, all your stuff will be in Master, so you'll get all those things. And all the commits that you had over however many weeks will retroactively go towards your thing. Like it'll basically merge into the Master's commit history.
That's true. Yeah, I'm all right with that. I don't mind. Plus, I'll have commits on pretty much all the repos at this point. I think the only one I'm missing is homegames.link and homegames.io, like the actual website.
Yeah. I actually just realized it probably wouldn't do that. It wouldn't merge into the stuff. It would. It wouldn't merge in the actual commit history. It would merge your contribution history. Mm-hmm. But the actual change, it would be one like large merge commit. It wouldn't merge every commit into the history. Anyway, get stuff.
Isn't that a merge setting?
Yeah, you can either do a merge commit
or squash, or you can. Yeah. Do you squash when you do it?
I squash, but I think even if you didn't squash, it would take all of your commits and put them on top of current master. I don't think it would. Right, because if you have like master and then you have your branch and I'm assuming you rebase on master and you don't have like actual weird. I don't know what it does in that case if you don't rebase on master. Anyway, get stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either actually. It's all good once we figure it out.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me for home game stuff. I don't have a whole lot besides that. Just the game and continuing work on the game.
Nice. Oh, I do have a request for you. When you finish updating a PR or something, can you just click the like re-request as a reviewer button in GitHub so that I get notified, so I don't have to like go find the repo and stuff. It just shows up in my pull request.
Is there a re-request button? Because I do a comment and it should notify you when I comment.
Well, it does do that, but you have to go and find it again. Like you have to go find the repo and stuff of like, oh, which repo is this for again? But in like if you go into a pull request, and you're actually you can just do this, but once somebody has like the little red computery thingy, there's a little circle thingy right next to it, and if you press that, it re-requests their review.
Oh, weird.
It leaves like all of their initial rejection of the PR or approval of the PR, but it does re-request them, so it shows back up in their pull requests tab in GitHub.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Please. Yeah, it just makes it easier for me to like go and find which repo and stuff like that until I get used to the new repo structure.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all I got for that.
Yeah, I guess that's it for me for home game stuff. If you have anything else for that.
Nice. I don't think so. Once I'm done moving Square over, I'll probably do a video on Square as well. So like once you review it, merge it in, then I'll probably do the video for Square and we'll post it on the YouTube channel. And then that'll be it, I think. And then also I updated my colors PR for you to relook at.
I did.
I think that'll work.
Yeah, I did see that earlier.
Yes.
I just didn't comment on it or read it or anything.
Yeah, for some reason when I wrote that PR, I thought we'd never add any more colors, and I was like, "Oh, then this is fine."
You thought we'd?
And then your comment, I was like, "Oh, right."
You thought we'd never what?
Add new colors to the game.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea why I thought that, but that's just where my brain went.
That's fine. Yeah, and anyway, the home game stuff. That's basically it. Is it What's Up Part 2?
Ready to move on? Ready? Oh well, Song of the Week, man.
I forget the structure because it changes.
Does it? I don't think
there was.
Maybe
at some point a few episodes ago we flipped it.
We did flip it because we needed to fit into Home Games Part 2.
No, we did something. It was different from that. I think it was the one just before, or just after that one, where I had my music lined up in some sequence in the editing thing, and I was like, okay, here's this song, this song, this song, this song by section, and then we did one. I think it was Song of the Week, and then the Home Games music, or the Home Games Part 2 music was there, and I was like, oh, I guess we flipped it this week, but I don't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Oh, we may have actually flipped it from what it originally was, from being What's Up Home Games, What's Up Song of the Week.
I don't know. You're the showrunner. I just show up.
My Song of the Week, actually, and I have a question for you before I get into it. Have you ever woken up and you have a song stuck in your head?
All the time.
Really? All right. Yeah. That almost never happens to me, but on Monday it happened to me. And so while this week has been crazy good music-wise for me, like I literally added like 15 songs to my playlist.
From the Discover?
On Monday, from like Discover and just like seeing stuff online and stuff like that. Like just, I don't know. Nice. I've just been finding some really cool music lately. But Kicks by Auvera or Au revoir. I haven't figured out how to actually say that name yet.
Is it French? Is that French?
No, it's the artist's name is AU/RA, and I think that's supposed to be read as Au revoir, like as in au revoir, but I'm not 100%.
What kind of music is that?
It is a lady singing to indie pop. Like it is what it is. I'm not gonna deny it. I think you would hate this song because you really didn't like Here by Alicia Cara, whatever her name is. It's pretty similar.
It's not that I don't like stuff. It's just that kind of music is not. That doesn't vibe with me so much, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I meant more like you didn't like that song because of the content of the song. Like the song was about not wanting to be at a party while you're at the party.
Oh.
And this song is kind of similar. It's about being like, you might, like literally like the song is like, you might get your kicks doing like stuff, but like I get my kicks from like being authentic and I just
so it's like I'm not like the other girls type stuff. I'm quirky.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, I definitely would hate that. Has there been what's like the most high energy song of the week you've had? Like what's the most that's differed from that genre?
For me, I don't think I've left that genre music. Like the thing is that I listen to other stuff, but the songs that I really like each week are usually like going to be like the indie pop stuff. A couple weeks ago, like I actually was listening to a ton of like metal again. So it would have been something by Parkway Drive or Chevelle, but the song of the week, like my favorite song of the week, ended up also just being like an indie pop song.
Yeah. I was gonna say something and then I forgot what it was.
No, you're good. Like I listen to, it's not like I just sit down and I listen to indie pop only. Like I have like a pretty broad taste of things that I listen to, but in terms of like what my favorite song each week is going to be, it's probably going to be indie pop.
Do you ever revisit those songs? Like, what's the kind of life cycle of a song that you really like this? Like 15 songs this week. Where are those songs in a month?
Well, it depends. So there's some songs that I just really, really, really like. Like there's an artist called Cafune that I really like. And I've been listening to their songs like on and off for like 5 months now. Okay. Since I first found them. So like their stuff is super high energy, like bubbly, like let's have a good time stuff, and I really like that. But most songs that I listen to, I'll listen to for probably like a month, and then afterwards they just fall into the random rotation of Spotify's algorithm. Yeah.
So like I get it. Not everything gets listened to all the time. Again, songs like do you have forgotten songs that you used to like and you just like don't hear anymore? I guess you.
I think if you played 30 seconds of any song on my playlist, I would know what song it is.
30 seconds.
I think
that seems high.
Well, the problem is that some of my songs sound very similar. Sometimes there's not a lot of like difference between songs, so I would have to listen to like a little bit more to be like, oh right, like this is that song.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah. About I think 30 seconds on any song, and I would know the name and the artist.
That'd be a fun challenge to see, like, of our playlist, who can get the most songs. Like, you have to listen to 5 seconds. What song is it?
We should do that in person.
Yeah. We're not here. It'd be terrible.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that in person. When you're down here, we'll do that. That'll be a fun thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
That would go into, like, video content or something weird, because you can't really do that over an audio thing. I don't know. Talking about the Homegames media empire that we're starting to build.
It would be funnier to do in person with video, so you can stick the person like listening and just being like, shoot, I don't know this one.
I always thought this is kind of unrelated. I always thought it'd be fun to do a video of me and Synovia, and it would be there's kind of actually something that we saw on YouTube that was a lot similar to this, but it's like, here's a bunch of Young Thug lyrics, and here's the song that, like, the beat of the song that they're from. Try to do the song without hearing where he actually raps. The point being that, like, the way that he raps is so weird and interesting that the words that are on your page, like, do not fit into the song that you're thinking. So you're kind of, like, freestyling how it would work, you think, but it's all just ridiculous lyrics.
Oh, that would be super fun, actually. I like that.
There's one this dude does on YouTube that we found, and it's him and his girlfriend in the car, and he just plays a chunk of a Young Thug song and asks her what he said. It's see if she could get it right, because it's just like so much of what he says is absurd and hard to understand. So it's
what's the percentage that she's been right on?
We only saw one video. I don't know if they made a lot more of them, but she got like 2 out of 5.
Wow, that's actually impressive, honestly.
Yeah.
Young Thug is not easy to
No,
understand.
he really isn't. My song of the week, though. So I was talking about rhythm games earlier, and I have like Guitar Hero 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I've spent so much time of my life playing Guitar Hero 3. There's one of my favorite pictures ever is me, JC, and Alex, and we're all like 14 years old, and I have a Guitar Hero controller in my hand, and Alex has a 360 controller in his hand, and that was like the peak of my life as far as I'm concerned. I love Guitar Hero 3. Beat every song on Expert. 5-starred every song on Expert, actually, just for some context.
Wow.
I'm not trying to flex. I'm just saying I really am that like much of a loser on that game. I love that game. I used to watch Guitar Hero Phenom on YouTube. I used to upload 100% FC videos on YouTube of me playing Guitar Hero. All that kind of stuff. Anyway, my song of the week is Ruby by Kaiser Chiefs, because I went back and I found a Guitar Hero 3 playlist on Spotify of all these songs that I've heard hundreds of times, and I love that song. They're like a British rock band, and that song is from 2006 or something. It's just a really good song. It's about a girl, I think, named Ruby.
I don't think I've ever even heard that song.
It's a Ruby, 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 Ruby. It's in Guitar Hero.
Oh,
yeah,
I've heard that song. Yeah, all right, I know that song.
So that's my song of the week, because there's Clone Hero available on PC, and I actually have multiple Guitar Hero controllers that I bought from Goodwill or eBay to play it on my PC and all this kind of stuff, and just love those games and that like whole catalog of music and all that kind of stuff. So Kaiser Chiefs song of the week. Well, Ruby song of the week.
Did you learn how to play acoustic guitar because of Guitar Hero?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I didn't learn to play acoustic guitar. Like I built my general awareness of guitars and guitar music with Guitar Hero, really, because before that I had listened to zero rock music or like stuff with guitars in it. It was just not anything I liked. So like I became aware of the instrument at that level, and then wanted an acoustic guitar. My nana got me an acoustic guitar, and I learned a little bit of stuff and like how to play basic things, and all that kind of stuff. And then
I have a question for you about music and rap stuff in general. Would you ever go to a rap battle? Or is that not the kind of rap you're into?
I used to watch King of the Dot videos, which is a YouTube channel. They do rap battles and all that kind of stuff. It's actually super interesting, and it's kind of high intensity type stuff sometimes. I don't know. They're fun to watch. I don't know if I would be in like the kind of crowd that you need at one of those kind of things, and like the energy of that crowd is just not the kind of energy I have. Like I'm not gonna ooh when something is good, I don't know these people. I'm not gonna talk. So that kind of a thing.
You'd make a face though.
Yeah, I would stank face the whole time. But I just don't think I like, especially because I don't like any particular battle rapper enough to be like a fan. And I also don't think it's very like it's entertaining, but it's not something that I would enjoy the experience of like being there. I would rather just watch the YouTube video and get the punchlines.
Okay, I see.
But I do like battle rap.
So if I was like, hey man, I got 2 tickets, you want to go to a battle rap with me?
That's different.
I'd be like, no thanks.
That's different. I mean, like like I've been to a hockey game because someone invited me to it. It's like I don't care about the event really. I'm just down to go hang out with people or whatever. So I would go to a rap, especially because it's like me and you at a rap battle.
What an odd combination we'd make.
Yeah, like we belong at Comic-Con.
Would you ever want to participate?
Not a rap battle.
God.
Not really. I don't want to go to Comic-Con ever.
I went to BlizzCon. It was okay.
I went to PAX once, and I'll never go back.
Too stinky?
No, I think everybody there goes with their little group of nerd friends, and nerds are incredibly rude and antisocial, and that whole energy of that whole crowd is just pockets of dickheads. And you're waiting. Like I waited 2 hours in line to play a 5-minute demo of Dead Rising 3, or Dead Rising 4, or whatever it was, the one that sucks. And I was like, okay,
all of them.
Wrong. But I went for like the giant bomb panel, and that was pretty great. I also saw the Penny Arcade panel. Like the people who created the Penny Arcade Expo were there. That was cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
but I don't think like I went and I met Jeff Gershman and that was amazing. But just like standing there and trying to get in line to play demos of games that you don't even care about and everybody around you is like not interested in being social or cool. It's like, no, this is not my thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. So there is something weird about nerds that make them me, antisocial.
I mean, I get it. You know, if you're like used to people picking on you or used to being like a weirdo, and then you find your circle of weirdos, you just assume everybody else is a jerk because historically people have been jerks to you. You know, but I think
You know what? That's pretty
it
true.
creates this self-fulfilling prophecy of like a nerd being standoffish and rude, and then that makes them have no friends, and then it kind of just goes. You know.
Do you think I'd get pulled over more if I had a bumper sticker that said I don't support the police?
Uh, I think if your bumper sticker said "I don't support the police," that would be a more interesting thing because a lot of anti-police things are a lot more aggressive than that. I think just stating the fact that you don't support the police is kind of like puts you on neutral ground.
With the police. I'm already below neutral ground, so will that pull me up to neutral? I'm kidding, obviously. I don't want bumper stickers on my car. And I also wouldn't want to make the police dislike me.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think it'd be interesting to see how police in general respond to someone saying "I don't support the police," like in a very just matter of fact type way.
Just a white bumper sticker, black text. I don't support the police.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'd pull you over and just be like, "What about us don't you support?" And then you gotta be like, "It's not about you, it's me."
It's like, look, I'm red pilled, so let me tell you about why I don't support.
No, I was blown away that was a real thing because I literally didn't know about it until JC explained it to me, and I was just like, "Whoa, okay, all right."
Yeah, it's a silly thing.
I wonder what subcultures are out there that other people don't know about unless they're in that subculture. There's got to be some weird ones.
There's a ton. I mean, people are weird, dude. Like outside of the internet, there are just weird people that do weird things in real life, and you don't hear about them.
What do you? All right. So, what subculture do you?
Is this What's Up Part 2?
Oh yeah, we can go into this.
What's Up Part 2? What subculture? Oh, music.
What
What subculture do I think I'm part of?
Yeah.
Like a programmery. There's like definitely a programmery Twitter, and like a hip hop thing. Those are really my two little weirdo groups of. Like I post on Reddit on hip hop heads relatively frequently.
But would you ever identify as being a Redditor?
I don't think I'd ever call myself a Redditor. I think that's just like insulting yourself because that word is has such a negative connotation. I think. I mean, really, does any other social media have that? Oh, I'm an Instagrammer. I'm a Facebooker.
Well, you got Insta models, no?
Yeah, but that's a different type of thing. That's your job, you know.
That is true. Yeah, there really isn't one that I know of that's like that.
Yeah, I think just specifically on Reddit, it's really like a subreddit is whatever subculture you're a part of. If you contribute towards some sort of discussion on that subreddit, then you are kind of by definition part of that subcommunity. And the only ones I really post on are hip hop heads, or the only one, because I don't post on programming subreddits because people seem like they're a lot smarter than me, so I don't like arguing or saying anything that people would disagree with.
I kind of oscillate between them being smarter than me and them just being aggressive with their ideas. They're literally crusading for an idea, and you're just like, "Hello, person. This person's asking an unrelated question."
Well, if you go to programmer humor, you'll find a bunch of first year high school, CS people who just learn how to console log and they think that's jokes. You'll get jokes on the level of my syntax didn't auto highlight. What's going on? You know what I mean? That level of joke. And then you'll get the programming subreddit has a lot of people talking about frameworks and kind of like new practices, and so people will post something about like, you know, job culture or work culture or whatever at engineering places. Mm-hmm. Then you go on Hacker News, and it's like programming, the subreddit from whatever programming subreddit, but with like serious people who actually know what they're talking about. And Hacker News is basically like a read-only thing for me. I will never post to Hacker News because I don't know what they're talking about. You know?
That is true. I follow I Am a Developer on Twitter, and I think his is way funnier than most of what's on programming.
That dude is pretty, yeah. Programmer humor mostly sucks. Every now and then you'll get something really good, but that dude on Twitter is pretty funny.
Yeah. I love like around the holidays when he's being specific, like very funny about like, don't commit anything you don't want to fix over the winter break. Like, I love that. Like,
yeah. But yeah, I guess that's it.
Once actually,
I was gonna say, I guess that's it for my internet subcultures. Not really into a whole lot.
I think that's pretty true for me. I don't know if somebody asked you like, okay, so if somebody said like, tell me about yourself, would you ever say like, I'm Joseph, I'm a developer, I do like, do you describe yourself as like in like that way, or like how do you describe yourself?
Like, how would I answer? Tell me about yourself. I truly hate that question, and the only time I really get it is in the context of a job interview. And in that case, you typically have to talk about what you do for a living, like your job and stuff. But like if someone asked me to like introduce myself, I would mention that I'm a programmer or something, because I mean that's like what I do with my life. But I wouldn't be like, well, I'm a Redditor.
I mean, I'm glad you aren't out here telling people you're a Reddit. Like, I'd be concerned.
Yeah, no. But I think, yeah, just generally speaking, it'd be like the whole, I'm from here, I live here, this is what I do, I like to do X. It's like, give me like 4 sentences.
That makes sense.
What about you? Tell me about yourself, Yazeed. Terrible start.
And I don't know. My thing is like, I don't know if I would. I think if somebody said like, tell me about yourself, I probably wouldn't even mention work. I'd probably talk about like my hobbies and interests. Be like, oh, I'm really into like I'm really into programming, and also like XYZ. Like, I just tell them the stuff that I'm into and be like, these are the things like I'm about. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Like, I wouldn't say where I work or what I do at work. I just say I'm a programmer. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't be like, I'm a software engineer. Okay,
it's like, yeah, dude.
I write code for fun and also professionally. Yeah. I think is the way I would describe that.
Yeah, it's like my job is also that. But calling yourself a software engineer is such a, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a sandwich artist.
I feel like sandwich artist is a little bit lower on the totem pole.
I mean, in terms of trying to pretty up what you do.
Sandwich
artist is kind of funny. Software engineer is like trying to be serious and trying to tell someone that you're actually serious and cool. It's like, nah, dude, you write code.
Would you ever refer to yourself as a software boy?
I really don't think I ever would, no. I think I'd refer to myself as anything boy.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's difficult. The other thing too is like, if somebody said like, what are you into for me? I'd be like, I don't know, man. I'm into a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of cool. There's like infinite number of things to be interested in out there, and I want to be interested in all of them.
Yeah. I think that's why making friends is so hard if you're an adult, because that is how you generally approach someone that you don't know. What do you do for a living? Tell me about, like, what are you into? What are your hobbies? But, like, someone like you, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm a programmer. I like Warhammer. It's like, okay, well, you're a nerd. And then you just get classified as a nerd, but, like, you actually have a whole bunch of interests, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's hard to build a relationship with someone when it's hard to tell them, like, who you are.
Do you think that's why it's easier for kids to make friends, because there's literally less to them? Like, they're not as complicated. Like, they're much simpler. Like,
there's probably a lot of reasons, but kids are also more willing to go to each other and be like, you're in the same room as me? Cool, let's talk about that. Like, let's just talk.
That's pretty pretty true, actually.
Like my first kindergarten friend I met because I was walking around a tree by myself, and he was walking around the same tree, and we ran into each other. That's how we became friends for like 4 years. You know what I mean? It's like the bar is way low for children.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if you were walking around a tree as an adult and somebody else is walking around that same tree, there's a good chance there's some connection there.
Yeah, but the context was we were both at recess. If you're just walking around a tree as a full-grown adult, like something's up, you know. And if someone else is doing the same, then sure, you'd bond over it. But you're both probably crazy. So
maybe you're studying the tree.
Maybe.
And you two find your lifelong love for each other and also that tree in particular.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, this is very much unrelated, but this week I found myself thinking about this, and I wanted to kind of just run it by you. I write Python for most of my time. Like, I write JS for Homegames stuff, but most of my programming stuff is Python. And in Python, to log something, it's print. There's a print function. Mm-hmm. And when I put up a pull request, which I often do, I need to remove every log statement I have. And so I'm workshopping this idea of like a good bandit, I leave no prints. You know what I mean? Something along those lines of the approach of pull requests and stuff like that. Just, what are you thinking? What are you thinking about that? Where does it go from there?
So that name is probably the best name ever. Like, honestly. And you should definitely do that.
Code Bandit?
You should write...
Code Bandit? What name?
Oh, I leave no prints.
Leave no prints.
Yeah, leave no prints, but do it like camel case and then put it out. Like, you know, that's pretty sick. I think developers would be really into that.
I think it had to be snake case though, because I can't even think of a camel case convention language that has a print function.
C.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Printf.
Yeah. Okay, and then Java, I guess. System.out.print, even though it should be print line. Anyway.
Oh yes, no, it's not the printle.
Yeah.
The old printle.
It's a printle.
Printle. I like that name a lot, which is probably a bad sign.
Yeah,
but
you have terrible taste
really
in humor. You laugh at everything I do. So
it's true. Well, I think that the worse a joke is, the funnier it is.
Great. So yeah, I'm doing poorly.
No, that's the exact kind of thing you want for a programmer's thing. Like, programmers generally like terrible humor, I found.
More terrible humor at homegames.io. Check us out.
IO. Yeah. I have a question for you. Who is your favorite comedian right now?
Right now?
Right now.
Man. That's tough. I think I don't have a current one because I haven't been following a lot of stand-up. I think the most recent one I watched was the Tiffany Haddish stand-up on Netflix. It was pretty okay. All time, I love Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about comedian or stand-up comedian?
Either one.
I mean, I just love Dave Chappelle. I like Bill Burr quite a bit. He's probably my favorite person. I don't know. The newest Dave Chappelle stand-ups I didn't love a whole lot. I liked one of them. Actually, the Sticks and Stones one, the one that people hated the most, was my favorite one out of all of them. And then the other two before that I really didn't care much for. And but yeah, Bill Burr is consistently awesome.
Do you ever listen to his podcast?
I don't. I know he has one, but
the Monday morning and the afternoon, the Monday morning podcast, and I think it's the Thursday afternoon Monday morning podcast or something like that.
Do you listen to it?
I only ever hear. I see the YouTube clips from it, but I don't listen to it.
Have you ever seen F is for Family?
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes for it.
What'd you think?
It's not my kind of show, I don't think.
Yeah, I love Bill Burr. For whatever reason, I watched that show and sat through it and all that, but I didn't love it. Anyway, Bill Burr, hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. I think John Mulaney's got to be up there for me. He is so funny. And then Tom Segura is probably my favorite comedian.
I've heard both of those names. I don't think I think I also know what they both look like, but I can't think of a stand-up or anything.
Dude, both of their stand-ups killed me when the first time I saw it.
Are they both on Netflix?
Like, yeah. Tom Segura's is really funny, and I think you would relate to one of his jokes about being Mexican but not looking Mexican at all. And it's that one was super funny. I was like, that's very funny. I thought of you when he told that joke. I was like, I was like, I know somebody who's like this.
I'll add that to my list of stuff to watch on Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely biased because, like, one, I like Tom Segura, but also, two, like, I've seen him live, and that's the only comedian I've ever seen perform live in it.
Didn't you go to the Seth Meyers thing?
Oh, shoot, you're right. I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah. I remember that one. But yeah.
That was also funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Not a big Seth Meyers fan, but I did like that stand-up.
Yeah. Well, I thought the part afterwards, and I think you and I talked about this then too, was like people were asking like really serious questions of him, like how to get into the show world.
Yeah.
Because like a Q&A afterwards on like a college campus.
Yeah. It was a weird vibe. Because that was also like 3 years ago. And he has a stand-up special, I think, on Netflix. And on that special, he's like, hey, I know it's weird. I'm doing stand-up. Like, he's starting to do this national, like, introduction to his stand-up thing. But, like, we saw that years ago when he was, like, trying it out, you know? It's kind of weird.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I don't know.
Speaking of What's Up Part 2, I had a little bit of an anime update.
Ooh.
This is becoming a recurring thing. So my friend, like he was actually one of my mentors at one of my previous jobs. Like I really respect this person a lot, and they have good opinions and all that kind of stuff. So I told him we recently got food, and I mentioned I wanted to get into anime, and that I told him what we'd been saying, basically how, you know, I tried to get into One Punch Man, I tried to get into My Hero, I've tried to get into Death Note, and these are all this like top most popular whatever animes, and I cannot get into them, and I don't know what I'm missing. And he's like, oh dude, okay, got you. And he sent me, no joke, a 4-page PDF that he made with all of his favorite animes categorized into genre, and then a little description. I don't know if he wrote the description or if he found it online or whatever, but he just sent me this email and all this kind of stuff. And he said that his favorite show of all time is, let me get the name because it's okay. Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World is what it's called. Right. I watched the first episode and I actually liked it. He said if I'm looking for something funny, then this was the one to watch, and then it's his favorite of all time. So the intro of it is like, dude is camping out or whatever. He's been up all night to get this video game at like a midnight release. So he gets a physical copy of the video game, and he's going to go home to play it. Super nerd, by the way, obviously. And he is like walking, and then this girl is walking by him, and she's on her phone or something, and then a bus is coming, and he tries to save her from this bus that he thinks is going to hit her, and then it ends up he just like wakes up in some version of heaven. And then he's like, oh, did I at least save her, or is she okay? And the angel girl is like, yeah, she's okay, but she was never actually in any danger. The bus wouldn't have hit her regardless. You saved her for no reason.
Oh my god.
And then he's like, oh, so how did I get hit by the bus then if it wasn't even going to hit her? And she's like, you didn't get hit by the bus. You died of shock. Like, you were so scared that the bus was going to hit you and kill you that you died. And right now your whole family is even laughing at how you died because it's so lame. Like, this is the lamest way I've ever seen anybody die ever type thing. This is like the first couple minutes of the show. And then it kind of goes from there, and you know, there's a goal and all that kind of stuff, but it's actually funny. Like, that intro is actually funny. So I'll probably keep watching that show because I actually enjoyed it. So shout out to my friend Jason. You know, he's good anime recommendation, and it's also on Crunchyroll.
I mean, 4 pages of PDFs, he better. I'm glad you liked one, and maybe you can find a couple that you do like.
Yeah,
and go from there. And then you can become a weeb.
Oh yeah, I'm already kind of there. But yeah, anyway, the Home Games anime minute might become a recurring thing. Is my point. We might need to get Tynan to make some anime music.
I don't know. I've been continuing to grind through My Hero Academia. I've been 3 episodes a day or something like that. Just trying to really finish the show out, and it's okay.
Sounds like work.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's one of those things where similar to last week's episode where I practice things a lot, I just do things sometimes to just finish the thing. And I think watching the show is one of those things.
How many more episodes do you have left, and how much time do you have to finish it?
I have until March 1st.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think March
That's
1st or March 7th, one of those two. Yeah, I have a week to finish basically the entirety of season 4, and I think I'm on episode 10 of 25 in season 3. So I think I have 40 episodes to watch or something like that.
If it's a week, then you would have to watch, what is that? One every, 5 a day? 6 a day.
Yeah. 6 a day.
Yeah, that'd be 42 if you did the whole thing. That's crazy, dude. There's no way you can even enjoy that, even if you did actually like the show.
Yeah, I'm willing to hurt myself a little bit, right? It's okay, but I don't know. The show's okay. The show's gotten a lot better than what it was at. I will say that, but it's still I don't like it because it feels like there's no consequences to anything the main character does, but everyone else has severe consequences. I don't know.
No, I was gonna say I haven't seen much of that show, so I don't know kind of what sort of problems would arise. So I don't really know. But
no, it's a bunch of stuff that's going on, but I think the more interesting part in that show is just the way they deal with not even the main characters, but how the world is built out. The world that they built is pretty cool. The main character, the characters in that show are paper mache characters. They're not good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was gonna say something and then I forgot. It's kind of a bummer that you'll force yourself to sit through all of this show that you barely care about, but you still haven't seen Breaking Bad all the way through. That crushes me.
Well, it's not like you invited me to go and see the movie with you.
Okay, I'm inviting you to go turn on El Camino on Netflix at some point after you finish Breaking Bad.
Okay.
El Camino sucks, by the way.
If we watch El Camino together, I will watch Breaking Bad.
El Camino is a boring thing. They shouldn't have made that. I'm actually I like that, Breaking Bad, my favorite show of all time, but they're also doing Better Call Saul and they're also doing El Camino, and Vince Gilligan just wants to keep going, I guess, because it was so good. But they just should have stopped. Better Call Saul isn't really that good either.
No, I thought you liked that show.
I like it enough to keep watching it, but so much of that time is just spent being bored. It's a very slow thing, and it tries to build tension because it's a prequel to Breaking Bad. Most of the time it's a prequel. There's parts of it that happen after, but it's there's no tension because that character is in Breaking Bad, or that character is not in Breaking Bad, and then that causes some sort of mystery or whatever. But it's if they're not in Breaking Bad, they probably die. And if they are in Breaking Bad, then this whole scene where you're trying to make it seem like he could die is totally for nothing because I know what happens. So, you know what I mean? So that kind of they should have just stopped. The whole thing with Breaking Bad is that what Vince Gilligan said is that he stopped at what felt like the peak, and you never want to keep it going too long. Otherwise, it's not as good as it could have been. But we're ending this at the perfect time. We want people to want more because that's the best time to do it. You don't want to stop when people don't want you to keep going,
Yeah.
So anyway, that whole thing, and then he kept going. So
I wonder how much that it was just they sat down with him and they're how much? And he was for what? And they're to keep going. And he was just well, a lot. I don't really want to keep going. They were like, all right, how much?
I think
write a number down and we'll give it to you.
I think it was Peter Gould, who's another writer or some other person on like Breaking Bad, who is kind of more of the showrunner on Better Call Saul, even though Vince Gilligan is a part of it or something. I don't know. Either way, it's like, yeah, I'm sure, he loves money. I get it. Everyone loves money, but part of it's ruined. Like, I'd rather just pretend that like El Camino specifically doesn't exist, because that thing is just like, you know what I mean? Like, why did you make this?
Yeah. I wonder if I went back and tried to watch Breaking Bad, would I enjoy it more?
Well, you were right. Like when I forced you to that time when you made me watch Game of Thrones and I made you watch Breaking Bad, you you pointed out that first season's pretty boring, and it totally is. Like I went back relatively recently to start watching Breaking Bad from the beginning, and the first 2 seasons like could be skipped basically. If the story didn't matter, then you could probably just move, just get rid of those.
So I have a couple of things for What's Up Part 2.
Okay.
The first one is just a statement, and I want to know if you know this, but you apparently can't hum when you block your nose.
Like this?
Yeah.
It's true, I guess.
Yeah, right? That's kind of weird. Like, I didn't think your nose was that important to humming.
Is it because when you hum, you very slightly exhale from your nose?
I think so. Because you can literally just put a finger up to your nose and you can no longer hum. You're like, Or like, you have to like really like get on there. But you just like cover your nose holes. Yeah.
I could, but then you could feel like the bottleneck of sound in like the top of my nose above where I'm blocking.
It's kind of weird, right? Like, I wonder what other things are out there that are like that. Thank you, Reddit, for that one, though. And then the other one is my friend just randomly said to me, a bad day isn't going to fix itself. And I was like, I have to write that down for my notes, for patch notes. So I did. But I don't remember anything else about that besides the story and that. Like, I don't remember what the lead-in was supposed to be to there. So I'm just going to say that quote and be like, yep, that's a good quote.
That'll be our title. It's like, oh, this is a profound thing. I'm sure they talk about some deep stuff in this episode. And then the payoff an hour and a half into the episode is you just saying there's no point.
Yeah, I don't remember why I wrote it down, because I write down notes kind of not great. And so I wrote down the note of it's literally just the quote, a bad day isn't going to fix itself.
I mean, whoever's...
I like that quote.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
No. What is your go-to bad day fixer?
I don't know. I have so many bad days. I don't know. I think I just like to turn my brain off. I just like to go back to comfortable things. Like, I'll just play video games or I'll just whatever, but it's mostly just being by myself or like going to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this is a bad day. I'm just gonna stop the day as soon as possible. Go to sleep at 7 p.m.
Does that work? Do you wake up the next day being like, man, yesterday was a bad day, but today, better?
Yeah, all the time. I think sleeping most of the time fixes whatever bad stuff I think is happening. Like,
okay.
Yeah. Because what's a bad day, Most of the time it's just you reacting to something that kind of sucks, but it's not really that bad. Unless it's like a bad day, in which case sleeping can't help you. That's just like a bad life.
Sleeping can't help you should actually be the name of this episode.
So, okay, I had one thing. I have one of my bullet points for What's Up Part 2 is taxes. I did my taxes. I thought it'd be fun to mention that. I guess that's it. But the other part I just thought of was, wouldn't it be fun if we did a hackathon for Homegames and it's like we actually did, okay, talking about the Homegames media empire, like live stream hackathons, build a game in a weekend, build a game in 24 hours. Here's the Homegames team on Twitch
going
Yeah,
for it.
and it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen the Twitch streams of like, here's me building a startup in a weekend, and it's just someone talking over them programming and whatever. That's kind of what this is, but without the urgency. It's like, how, like, watch us build this business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I would be down for that.
I just think it'd be fun to do, like, I don't know, like Giant Bomb. They do this live stream where they do for charity. They just play a bunch of video games, and it's like 36 hours. People just staying up playing video games and live streaming and stuff. It's like, if we ever actually have people who watch us, then we could do that, of like live stream us build a game instead of playing a game.
Yeah. I mean, we could definitely do it. Just do like a hack, like a 24-hour stream where you're just writing code the whole time would be pretty sick.
Because I just like that hackathon that we did at school was one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life. And we, realistically speaking, we can't be doing that stuff in our 30s. So if we're ever going to have those experiences again.
Speak for yourself, man. I'm totally ready to rock and roll.
I started doing that thing where I grunt when I get up. Like I'm getting up there. I can't, like, it's just, like nothing hurts. I just do that.
So I don't grunt. I just say the word papaya, and I don't know where that came from. But like when you're getting out of a chair, you're just like, oh, papaya, and then you get going.
That's the most like XD type thing I've heard you say in a long time.
I think that it's the way that papaya, the word, is structured, because it feels like you're grunting, but you're actually just saying a word.
See, that's too advanced for me. I don't follow that logic. Papaya, it flows nice, but I don't see how that sounds like a grunt.
Because like you really emphasize the pa part of papaya. So you're like, oh, papaya. Like because there's like two steps like getting up. First is like you got like your upper body into the like start position, which is the first pa, and then you're like actually like getting your hips off over your, like up in line with your knees, which is the second pa. And then you're fully up there, so that's the whole papaya.
And like at the rise of the word, like the peak of the word is when you peak, when you like just lift.
Yeah, that's when you're
papaya.
Like, that's when you're like, yeah, and then you're like, and you're like up and running rock and roll,
I guess, man, that seems pretty weird to me. But again, you do whatever you need to do to be you,
I know. I don't even eat papaya.
I don't think I've ever seen a papaya. I don't think I could tell you what a papaya looks like.
I don't know. What I'm imagining in my head is a cantaloupe, and I know that's wrong.
the face that you just made, like, I just shattered your world when you realize that you don't know what a papaya looks like.
I have no idea what a papaya looks like.
What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Thin Mints.
What do you think of Thin Mints, like, overall? Like, do you love Thin Mint? Like, do you love Girl Scout cookies?
I like mint. And the mintier, the better. So Girl Scout cookies tend to be mintier than the like Keebler equivalent, I've found. So I like them more. But if Keebler came out with like a grasshopper with extra mint, I'd be way into that. Because I really like the flavor of mint. And the smell and just the feeling of eating mint is something that I really get behind.
Do you like a York patty? Something like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't see those often.
No, because people don't like mint that much, I've found. People complain that it tastes like toothpaste, and I'm like, yeah, exactly.
No, toothpaste tastes like mint. Mint does not taste like toothpaste.
Exactly. That's the real turnaround, but my whole thing is like, there's nothing wrong. Toothpaste tastes fine.
Yeah. I mean, if toothpaste were edible, I could probably eat some toothpaste every now and then. Like squirt up some toothpaste for breakfast.
Did you ever watch the show Recess when you were a kid?
Yeah, I actually was just watching that recently. Also,
do you know that episode?
Sorry, that sounds like a hard edit, but that was really the conversation. We just swung from that to Recess.
Well, the reason for it is an episode of Recess where the tall girl with the glasses is going to become, like, thinks she's going to become an astronaut, and they're trying to help her get ready for it. And they make her drink water upside down, and they also give her like astronaut food, which is like toothpaste tube but food inside. Do you remember?
I don't remember that episode. No, Gretchen though, is that her name, or is that someone else?
I don't remember her name. I don't remember anyone's name.
The tall girl, right, with the braces.
Yeah, the tall girl in like the blue dress or overalls or something. Yeah. She's like becoming an astronaut, and then they make her drink water upside down. Like she's like on, like the pull-up bars that they had at schools. that you'd have to like do pull-ups on. Like she was hanging upside down
Yeah.
on it as you do, and then they gave her a glass of water and they told her to drink, and she spilled it up her nose, and that actually prevented me for the rest of my life from drinking water while not being completely upright.
I can see that. I mean, it's actually kind of dangerous. Like just laying down like on your back and drinking water is actually also super dangerous. You could just choke very easily on that.
Yeah, I don't know how people do that. I can't lay down and drink anything. I can't. I don't even lay down to eat anything.
Well, that's
except for like chips.
Well, even that's bad because
I'm
gravity
watching
is like working against you. Like it's basically your tongue against gravity. Your tongue is saving your life because if you have a food item, it just falls in the back of your throat and you're laying down, like you're done for. You know, if that's pre-chew. I actually think about this a lot. Eating laying down is like the worst way to go. It's like, oh, we found Joseph with the chicken nugget in his throat. How'd he die? While he was eating it laying down. That's it. That's the cause of death.
It would also be incredibly painful too, I imagine.
It'd be awful. Anyway, worst ways to go.
I think it comes down to how long you can hold your breath for. Because if you could hold it long enough to get to Synovia, you'd be okay.
Like if I could, but what if Synovia's not here? You know.
Oh, then you and me are both dead, dude.
Kind of dark.
That's all right. All right, everyone. I think this wraps it up for today. We will catch you next week. I think.
Yes, we will. I don't know why Yazeed doesn't have the confidence, but we will be back next week.
I think I'm only like 90% confident in everything. I've never been 100% confident in anything.
Well, I mean, we there's no 100% guarantee that we're gonna have an episode next week, but I mean, we're shooting for it. We're going for it.
Yeah, I would like to record another episode next week.
All right.
We
would like to record another episode next week. Thanks for listening to Patch Notes. This has been episode 18. We'll come back with episode 19 1 week from right now, probably. Thank you for listening. We're on the internet, homegames.io, at homegames.io on Twitter. Thank you again. Bye-bye.